Greetings, traveler. I am Sir Knox, the teller of tales. Would you like to hear one? This one is called Used by a Friend to Punish a DM Who Called Her Out for Metagaming. Oh, this should be interesting. Before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you have already, you're amazing. Thank you. This happened the Thursday before Christmas. Oh, so this is recent. So I'm between gaming campaigns and a friend texts me asking if I'm available for a game at the local store on Thursday nights, as they had just lost a player due to getting orders to move out of state. I was free those nights. Nice thing about a 9-to-5 job is all nights are free, and so I said yes, and what does the party need? She said that they could use a 6th-level rogue, and so I whipped one up. Sent it to the DM, had it approved with a few gifts from the DM of levels suitable minor magic items to help me slot right on in. DM asks if I could come early to the game night so he could feel my character and playing style out. So Thursday night comes along and I get there early. DM and I get along as my RP style seems to fit his expectations in the current party dynamics. He starts the session as a one-on-one with me in the tavern and seeing what I do. Since my backstory was a scout for a local merc company, I was looking for a place to settle down and use as a home base when not adventuring. So a visit to the tavern was important. As a halfling, good food, good cider, and good entertainment, and good company was important. Finding all this in the local tavern, I was sitting at the bar and singing along with the bard and chatting with the bar staff. The rest of the table arrives and we get to the game. Party is in the same town I'm in, and they start looking for the much-needed rogue for the adventure, and so just happened on the tavern I'm in. Here's where things go south. My friend was the face of the group and popped in first. The DM gives a description of me, and as soon as the words, "You see a halfling sitting at the bar," are spoken, friend says, "Ah! It's an edgelord!" and turns right around and leaves the tavern, stopping the rest of the party from entering, saying, "No one in there who'll suit us. Let's look at another tavern." DM asks what's going on. Friend says, "We don't need edgy McEdgelord in our party." DM explains that my character wasn't being an edgelord and was in fact being more the stereotypical halfling enjoying a night on the town, singing, drinking, eating, and just having a good old time. Friend says, "Oh," and looks at the rest of the party and says, "Let's head to another tavern and look for a rogue." Pretty much everyone looks at her with what the crap look on their faces, and one of the party asks, "But didn't the DM say that she's not being edgy and is just being a chill halfling?" Friend says, "Yes, but that's player knowledge and not character knowledge. Based on my initial and mistaken first impression, the character, think that it's a dark and brooding halfling rogue, even though I, the player, know it's not." Looking at the DM, she smirks and says, "And after all, I can't act on player knowledge since that's metagaming." DM swears and asks to talk to my friend privately. They go off and have a rather heated argument about metagaming. I look at one of the other players and they tell me that my friend has been called out several times about her metagaming and she wasn't happy about being called out on it. What a smarty pants. 10 minutes go by and I wander over to where they're having their argument and try to get their attention. The DM says, "Give me a minute, please," while my friend snaps at me with, "Shut up! And go sit down, I'm busy!" I sit down and wait another 10 minutes and they're still at it. By now the rest of the table has wandered off. One slipped out to get McDonald's, one went to the bathroom, 2 others were looking at minis. At that point I packed up and left. I didn't make a scene, so no one noticed. I got home and my phone went off. I answered it, was my friend. Didn't get word in edgewise from her ranting about how the party was screwed since my promised rogue was now AWOL. Funny, there was an available rogue, but eventually I just turned out her rantings, set my phone to do not disturb, hung up, and started binge watching Christmas specials. Haven't heard from her since. That is crazy, honestly. I can't believe... Oh my goodness, what a setup. That is so not cool to bring you and then... I am so sorry that you wasted all of your time, especially on your time off. You know, working a 9-to-5 is... your time off is precious, right? right? And you decided to go there, and you wanted to have fun, and it turned into that. And you put in time to create the rogue and the backstory, and wow. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're able to just not take it too harshly, I guess. But man, I'd have been pretty peeved, honestly, if it was me. So I could learn from you. To not take it so critically, even though it was a massive waste of time. Anyways, maybe you'll have fun with the rest of the group. Or never go back, I don't know what your take is. Our next tale is called Homemade Absinthe and Role-Playing Don't Mix. I think that goes without saying, but okay. If the title itself didn't give enough of a clue, this happened when I was in college, which for me was a little while back. I had a regular group that they ran with 3 players and myself, the DM. It was a pretty fun, casual group. We played mostly old World of Darkness games in D&D 4th edition, and did so in the common area of one of the dorms. It was usual for random folks to stop by and watch, or even join in as an NPC if they felt so inclined. My regular players were C, he, him, a classic grog nerd, but really nice guy, huge fan of making characters that collects secrets, doesn't drink, which, as you can guess, is important later. E, he, him, a dude practically made of chaos energy, also makes the characters that poke all the things. A DM goldmine, in other words. A, she, her, a crafty do-it-yourselfer both in and out of play, usually preferred to play scientist or hackers. I wish you gave them actual names instead of letters. Anyway, alcohol and energy drinks regularly flowed freely at the table, though usually not to excess. This in mind, A decided she wanted to make some alcohol of her own and bring it along to share. She found a recipe for absinthe on the internet, as she couldn't buy it directly, apparently, which involved taking Everclear and adding some mystery packets she found also on the internet, letting it sit for a while and then quaffing it down. This sounds very dangerous. Being in college and not yet skeptical of mystery internet packets, I figured, what the heck, and gave her the green light to bring it along. Oh boy. And bring it along A did. That fateful evening, we were playing Mage: The Ascension, one of my favorite games of all time. The idea behind it is basically that it's a modern game, but that reality is what everyone believes that it is, but you're a wizard, and you can believe extra hard to make reality do what you want it to. If you think, for example, a weird blood sigil has the power to transmute corn into bees, you have enough training and the dice like you, congrats on your new bee army. Oh wow, it's chaos. The catch is that if normal people see you doing things that clearly break reality, you get points of paradox, which the DM gets to gleefully cash in later to cause reality to rebound horribly onto your character in many imaginative ways. The game was well underway, and it was a long-running campaign at this point. We passed the absinthe around several times, and everyone agreed that it tasted or smelled like C's case. Freaking awful. Fortunately, E had brought along a couple liters of Sprite, and we all made the grand decision of drinking the fakey absinthe with Sprite as a mixer. Coincidentally, this somehow completely masked the taste, such that after the first few sips, we all pretty much forgot we were drinking alcohol. Oh, that's not good. I'm sure you can guess where this is going, yes. Now, I've got a pretty high tolerance, and A was nursing her drink, but E, chaos being that he was slamming back cups of Sprite-synth like nothing. I stopped counting after cup 4, honestly. After all, it seemed like it was only improving his role-playing. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of alcohol. The first real warning sign, except for all the others, was when E started bobbing and weaving at the table. Like true friends, we got him some water and propped his head up on a stack of books. Problem solved. That is until E said the fateful words. Guys, I don't feel so... Our collective first reaction was to scream and dodge backward from the neon yellow rocket of vomit exiting E's body. I'd say it was like the classic scene from The Exorcist, except it wasn't. Where the movie had a constant stream, he managed to produce something more akin to a concentrated shotgun blast of the most vile, nasty, rank vomit I've ever smelled in my life, to this day. That's disgusting. Then someone shouted, "The books!" Our books that were propping E up, as well as our battle map, remained firmly on the table. Due to quick hands, or the sheer velocity of the puke, the books escaped mostly unscathed. But the battle map and several character sheets were straight up laminated in a greasy layer of sick. We stood back, abjectly horrified. E, gasping, met our eyes. "I'm so sorry," and then the second wave hit. Less of a blast and more of a fountain. E produced a massive puddle that quickly formed a moat at our feet. Easily 3 feet wide, and its thickest point, it made all of us take a collective leap back as it hit the ground with force. Oh, this is disgusting. At this point, I recall hearing a mild noise from A, who peeled out of the room as fast as her legs could carry her. C sighed in pure sobriety, threw his hands in the air, and walked out, clearly sick of our crap, which was fair. That left me, the only one who could mildly tolerate the smell, to drag E out from the table, collect the rest of what could be salvaged in a trash bag, and attempt to clean up the catastrophe with only a handful of paper towels and the power of positive thinking. The imagery is just tormenting me, honestly. I didn't do real well on any of those accounts, for the record. The smell had thoroughly filled the space at this point, remarkable because the common room was very large, about the square footage of a high school gym with a much lower ceiling. Thankfully, no one else was present, though during the cleanup I did have several people come in and do an immediately about face. A had recovered enough by this point to help clean up E once he exited, and C volunteered to take our gaming supplies to do the best he could with them, while A and myself dragged E back to his dorm room on the other side of campus. Our cross-campus journey was punctuated at first by E apologizing repeatedly, and he finally settled on just having fun with it. He kept yelling, "I'm a mage!" or "I'm a wizard!" at different groups of people we ran into as we dragged him along, all of them who reacted about as you'd expect. When one group of girls stopped to watch, he even improvised a bit, drunkenly yelling out, "Don't watch me do magic, you'll give me paradox!" Finally, we settled him into his dorm room, propped him up on some pillows, and thoroughly killed the mood for his roommate, who had a girl over. Myself and A finally stepped outside, breathed some fresh air, and did a long stare into oblivion for a bit. Then we made our way back to the common room, where we left the non-absinthe and poured the rest of it down the sink. Good for you. E survived after a day of unholy suffering the next morning. C rightly gave us crap over it for months to come. A vowed never to make internet alcohol again, and I, naturally, learned nothing from the experience at all. Really, you learned nothing? Oh, I'm sure you learned something. Yeah, making internet alcohol just sounds terrible. It sounds like a horrible idea. I'm glad no one died. 4 cups of absinthe, though. My goodness, that is a bit irresponsible. But, I mean, I guess that's what college is all about, right? Wasting money, getting into debt, and binge drinking, which is terribly unhealthy. But, such is the system. Anyways, I don't know. What a tale. What an absolute chaos-ridden night. And the descriptions you put in there were very disturbing, honestly. It just made me sick. I think I'm gonna have trouble eating for the next few hours, honestly, just because of how good you were at describing that. But what a night it was. Glad it had a happy ending where no one got hurt and you learned your lesson to never drink internet alcohol again. Anyways, that concludes our tales for today. If you'd like to hear more, come back and I shall tell you some.